So for our next presentation, we're doing a financial teaser, and I would like to present Clemens, the expert and an MBA here.
Hello. Actually, do I need a micro or can everybody hear me? Micro. Better. Okay. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. So for all people who I haven't met so far, my name is Clemens. I'm a current MBA student here at Hub, and I will speak about financial planning and financial modeling. Before I start, just a few words about my background. I'm from Austria, from Vienna, and there I have been working for the last 4 years for KPMG, Financial Advisory Services, in the restructuring team and in the M&A team. And I was responsible for financial modeling, business planning, company valuation. So I was more like a quant guy and a lot of Excel work. Good. So in my presentation, I will speak about a financial business plan. I will speak about the derivatives about a financial business plan, and then I give you also an insight in my personal work, how I would start with a financial planning. So what is a financial business plan about? At first, it's about evaluating your economic efficiency of your idea. Actually, we heard a lot of really good ideas, really interesting ideas in the last 2 days. We also heard that entrepreneurs are passionate and excited, have to be excited about their ideas, but they also have to put their ideas into figures. And that's why we are here. So we also use the financial business plan to evaluate your potential of your idea. If your idea is, for example, scalable, or if you have to have a certain threshold to make a profit with your idea. It's also important to sort your thoughts about your idea to get a clear picture of your revenue streams and your cost streams. And it also evaluates the investment risk for yourself and for your investors. And it also gives you a picture of the financial means needed to start and to operate your business. So for whom are you planning? For whom are you doing the financial plan? Of course, at first you are doing it for yourself to get a picture of your financial streams. You also have to do it for your investors and for your VCs, because they will ask you for pro forma balance sheet, for pro forma income statement, and for certain ratios. Also, your banks and your creditors will need your plannings to give you a loan. And also some stakeholders, some other stakeholders like suppliers could ask for a financial planning because if they want to engage into long-term contracts with you, they might need a financial plan to offer you certain conditions or better conditions in your contract. What should a financial plan have or contain? I would group a financial plan in 3 different parts. I would start with an integrated financial model where you have a pro forma balance sheet, a pro forma income statement, and cash flow statement over several years. It also should have a financial analysis part where you post the most important key ratios for your investors. So when you are doing the financial analysis, always try to get the investor's perspective and show him your break-even point, show him the amount of money you need to invest to operate your business. And of course, you should do a sensitivity analysis to get a range between your best case and your worst case, and show him what your likely case is. And the third part, of course, are footnotes, where the investor can find further details on assumptions and details on your side calculations. Then we are coming to short-term and long-term perspectives of your plan. You definitely have to prepare a short-term planning, which should be like a monthly plan of your for the next 12 months, and a plan over several years. Here we have different opinions. Some people say three years are fine to start with. I would say rather make a planning for 5 years, also to show and break-even point. A lot of investment companies reach break-even after 3 years. So maybe your investor is also interested in the break-even point. And also prepare an exit scenario if you have a VC. And normally a VC requires an exit scenario because he wants maybe to exit the company after 7 years. Yes, so the next thing I want to show you is how I would start with a financial business. At first I thought I can show you a financial model, but like an Excel spreadsheet, they're very big and bulky, and that might be a little bit, it might be not interesting enough to show you small numbers and guide you through different Excel spreadsheets, so I just sketch it for you. So when I start planning, I personally would start with the balance sheet to find out my assets, my fixed assets I need to, for my company, like machinery, plants, or computers. I also need to know my current assets with raw materials, inventory, and cash I need to stay liquid during the time, over the time. And on the right side of the balance sheet, of course, I will show my capital structure. At first, I would show a target capital structure because at the beginning, I don't know how much debt capital I really want to have, how much equity capital I can raise. And then I would go on to calculate the income statement. I calculate my revenues, my projected cost of goods sold, and to get my gross profit, and then I deduct my depreciation to get net profits and link the whole thing to my balance sheet. Furthermore, then I do the cash flow statement. I will make the cash flow statement for all three cash flows: the operating cash flow, the cash flow from operating activities, cash flow from investing activities and financing activities, which are also linked to my income statement through profits and depreciation, and to my balance sheet through my change in working capital, as well as the change in my investment activities and financing activities. So here in this picture you can see how integrated financial statement is linked to each other, and from this financial statement we can derive our ratios, our key ratios, and we also can do our sensitivity analysis. It is very important, if you do it in Excel, it's very important to link it, to be consistent, and so you also can calculate different scenarios. So, what are typical pitfalls in financial planning? Pitfalls I have seen in the last years were inconsistencies in the planning. For example, like having different assumptions in growth rates, in trends, or in cost development, or simple mistakes in your calculation. Sometimes also people focus on the wrong financial ratios, which are not interesting for your investors. So maybe it's not that interesting for an investor to know your inventory turnover. An investor is more interested in ROE. And then I saw a lot of unrealistic or too optimistic planning. Of course, as an entrepreneur, you have to be an optimist. You have to see an upside in the market. Otherwise, you won't do your business. You won't found a company. But still, you have to be realistic in your plan. you also should know your key value drivers in your financial model. Just to know on which factors, on which drivers you should concentrate most. Because those key value drivers, they are important for your company either to be profitable or to be a loss. And then you also should prepare a backup plan for your investors if your planning doesn't work out. If you see like after 3 years the market situation has completely changed and you have to have an exit strategy, a contingency plan, or a backup. Yes, sure.
Before you do this, in regards to unrealistic financial plans, do you recommend that there's maybe 2 or 3 sets of financial plans that you have? Like this is my bare bones model, this is my medium model, this is if I get the funding that I can.
For example, a lot of entrepreneurs, they love to plan this hockey stick growth. So like the ramp-up phase over the first 1 or 2 years, and then the growth is going to the it could happen, of course, but you have to be realistic if it really will happen and if your growth will be that high at the beginning.
So is it better if you're talking to an investor that you have that hockey stick plan and you have your other plan that's like bare bones, if I don't get this, then I know?
Maybe if you have a hockey stick plan, use it as a best case scenario and be a little bit more conservative in your likely case scenario, because you never know.
But what is the investment perspective on that? Like the people who do that every day? Yeah.
An investor who's been doing it for a while realizes your numbers are totally wrong anyway. To be honest, so the question is, it's really a question of the underlying assumptions. And you're not going to go, you're going to know month to month and things like that how things are going. But for the most part, the things you put in the business plan, most people don't believe because things change so much. You can change so quickly. I don't want to downplay the idea of doing good financial planning. But it's the underlying assumptions that people will challenge you on, and to see how realistic the numbers are. I can give you a very quick example. A lady that came in to pitch a business plan once was going to open up a series of stores, and her financial model was based on the fact that she could do about 1 of these a week with 3 people in the company. And I didn't use this term then, but I was trying to figure out what she was smoking and why she would be giving me any of it. It's those kind of things that one needs to look at when you're doing these kind of things. Are the underlying assumptions. If you really think you're going to sell $1 million worth of stuff in a month, and your sales price is $100, you're really going to sell 10,000 units. It's those kind of things. And the financial plan is a way to communicate that to somebody who knows what a financial plan is. So that's the long answer, sorry.
I also have like an example for renewable energy. I calculated business plans for wind parks, photovoltaic plants, and they, for example, they had key value drivers, which were governmental subsidies, and those governmental subsidies were connected to a contract which expired 2 years from my starting point of planning, and they were very risky. And at the point when I did the plan, I had to assume that the government will renew the contract, maybe to a lower with a lower subsidy, but at that point I couldn't know. And in the end, it turned out that because due to the financial crisis, government had to save money, and so they renewed the contract with a really bad, with a strong decrease in subsidies, and some of those investments then have completely a different outcomes. And that's why it's important to be very careful with the planning and somehow, in some way, conservative. Because when you do the planning today, you never know how it will turn out in the end. But you have to have like a starting point for negotiation to see if your investment could be profitable in the future.
So that links to the scenario thinking, what Jess mentioned and what we heard, I think.
Yeah, that's why it's important to have a sensitivity analysis or a case analysis where you have several cases, like best case, worst case, likely case, to find a range where your return on investment. And yes, then I also have a screenshot of one of those tables of the financial plan. I don't know if I didn't want to show you a whole Excel file, a whole Excel spreadsheet because it's really huge and bulky, as I said. But this is a typical annual planning, and I also have a spreadsheet, a snapshot of monthly planning. There are servers out there. Normally, you should do it. You should create it by yourself. I know there are some templates, but in the end, it's better to do it by yourself and to have the same structure as you will have it afterwards in your accounting. Just to have a link with your accounting as well. On financial modeling, we are creating these kinds of models, and I also want to propose a following up workshop for modeling skills. Because I was asked by several students to have that they want to learn more about Excel skills, how I use Excel, how I can set up a financial model within Excel, and how can I play with it. So from the HALT Corporate Finance Club, we propose a financial modeling workshop on February 16th. So for interested students, they are happy to sign up. Thanks for your attention. Yeah, sure. Yes, sure. I can. Actually, I can send it to you. It should be spread it out.
Yeah, if that's okay, we
Yeah,
can
sure.
send it to.
Yeah, we're going to share all the documents with you, so that's not very
So,
Alrighty. Thanks, Clemens. So, yeah, well, what is next? I mean, at 4 o'clock, at 4 o'clock we have our panel about pitching, what is a good pitch, and also about funding strategies. So Jeff is one of the panelists, and also other people. AC will be on there. So he's writing a book. I hope he will share more insights on what you're doing there.
Not very expensive.
Okay.
Didn't pay you enough. Okay. So what is we have half an hour left here now, and I think very important for you now is to wrap up, because we're now done with the, say, business plan or business model canvas stage. After the panel, we move into the pitching stage. So after the panel, you will have a short hour to really come up with your slides. You're free to work on that now already. But what we really want to, have you after this day is an executive summary. So I mean, you have worked a lot now in the team. You will receive tons of feedback, and I think now it's time to really get this down to paper. And yeah.
Any questions?
Any questions? Is there, a long day? I see a lot of tired faces, but that is good. That tells us you really chewed your brain today and then chewed your idea, which is great. And yeah, so we're almost there. I think the panel will be really interesting for you, especially for those who are not into the investment community so far. And meet here at shortly before 4. We would like to start in time. Yeah. All right. So it's up to you where you go. You have your team breakouts. Grab coffee, whatever. Enjoy the sun. You can feel free to whatever you want.
Wow.
Me preguntó si hay un problema que se lo otro grabando. No está usando el logo correcto, All Corporate Finance. Ya.